Hey, how's it going everyone? This is DCSU81 and I hope you have a beautiful day. Today I'm going to do a review for this Mafex Spider-Man Peter B. Parker Into the Spider-Verse, the Renewal versions. Okay, so this is not my first time getting a Peter B. Parker. I already have the previous one which I have did a review for, which is about 3 years ago. Oh my goodness, can you imagine this figure actually takes 3 years for a reissue? So let's take a look at the box, and it's basically the same box except for 3 different things which I will share with you guys later. And this side of the box we can see the Peter B. Parker having his pizza. This other side we can see the Spider-Man, as well as the back of the box with all the cool poses and also all the accessory that it comes with. And back to the front, there are 3 different things that I mentioned. The first one, of course, you can see they actually put a renewal version here, which I truly appreciate because it actually differentiates between the old and the new one. Previously, when they reissue something, they just don't tell anything. So it's rather hard for collectors like us to know whether is this the old one or is this the reissue version. Yeah, so they actually put it there now. And the second one, of course, is they changed the number. The previous one is 109 and now we have 235. And I'll share about the last difference later, so let's get him out. And here's the third difference that I mentioned. They did change the arrangement of all the hands right over here. As you can see from the previous one is of the different settings. And let's take a look at the overall look for this figure, and quite instantly I saw one big improvement which I will tell you guys later. But before that, let's take a glimpse on it, and it actually looks pretty good. I think it's very much the same as the original ones. And I do have the original version right over here on my right hand side, so you can see that even the paint, the pants color, everything is exactly the same. So this one is 3 years ago and the color has not faded. Yeah, it still looks pretty much the same. The pants, yep, and the face of course is a different head. And the thing that I say that I noticed there's an improvement is, I believe you guys should have known by now. Yep, I'll let you guys see that. Do you see the Spider-Man lines are much more obvious on the renewal versions? Wow, this is looking very good as they have really painted it very nicely. Now you can see this is like unpainted. Yeah, the renewal version do have a much nicer paint lines there, and the blue I think is almost the same. Yep, maybe it's slightly darker blue as compared to this one here. Yep, but everything else I believe is pretty much the same. And as for the accessory, this guy basically comes with everything that the older one comes with, nothing more, nothing less. So I'd like to take this opportunity to do some comparisons. So the one on my left is actually the renewal versions, and the one on my right here is the old version. As you can see, even for the paint is almost the same. But however, mine, this seems a little dark on the mask, and this one just looks much brighter red. Now for this Peter B. Parker head, this one is the renewal version while this is the old one. You can see they have exactly the same paint. Nothing has improved or whatsoever, nothing has changed. It actually looks pretty good for both of them. For the Spider-Man head, you can see that the linings are more crisp on the newer versions. As for the old one, it does seems like it's inconsistent. Some part you can see is actually painted and some part it is not. And the renewal version does have all these packs that is being plugged into, while the older one doesn't have that. And as for this other head, you can see that the renewal version has a much brighter red as compared to the old one, which is slightly darker. I'm not sure whether is it because this has been 3 years and the paint somehow has gotten dark. Yeah, but you can see the difference is pretty obvious here. And as for the hands, other than the different layout that they have for these renewal versions, I would like to point out that the renewal version does have all this clear plastic. They actually put them together, which is very nice in terms of organizing all the hands. I just love this so that I don't lose any hands, while the older one doesn't come with this plastic here. Okay, so let's move on to the articulation, and the reason why I changed him to the Spider-Man is because on my previous review I actually showed the articulations for Peter B. Parker, and right now I'd like to show you guys in the Spider-Man form, which I believe is exactly the same as the previous one, the same mold, but nevertheless I'd like to show you guys in the Spider-Man form. So he can look to the right, looks to the left, looking up, pretty good, looking down is even better. So his arm can go 360 degree, and there is a butterfly joint as you can see, and there's an arm swivels, a double joint elbow. Wow, this is pretty good. And his hand, you can actually move around going up and down. Yep, there's a ball joint there. As for his torso, there's 2 points of articulations, so you can actually move it very nicely here. The movement is just very smooth, and on his waist, of course, you can also move it, and he does have a very nice slim body here. And for his leg, there's a pull down mechanism as you can see, even though there's just a slightly ones, but there is no cut on the tights, so there's no tight swivels. You can still do quite a big swivels here, so his leg can have a double joint knee. Okay, this is pretty good. And over here, you can't turn it, and his leg, you can actually swivels around going up and down. There's a ball joint as well, and there's a toe hinges as well. So let's see, with the legs being pulled down all the way, he can do 90-degree kick forwards, and kicking backwards I believe is actually hindered by his butt cheek, yeah, just slightly. And with both of the legs pulled down, let's see if he can do a split, which is just like this. I think it's pretty good there. And I think I kind of forgot about the bending forwards, which I believe he should be able to do so. Make sure that you be very careful about this portion, because it just seems to be blocking it. Oh, okay, yeah, so you have to push it a little bit. He can actually bend forward. Quite a disappointment, not that much. But bending backwards, yeah, I believe it is much better. Yep, so from here, I think this Spider-Man does have a pretty good articulations. As for his head as well, he have a separate neck, so he can turn very easily. I also kind of forgot to show you guys that his arm can actually goes more than 90 degrees. Wow, this is pretty good. And next we'll move on to the scale, which I believe he is very much the same scale as the old one, because they are of the same figure, same mold. So you can see that both of them is the same height as well. So for my final verdict, I think this Renewal version is actually a slight improvement over the older ones, because the Spider-Man linings on the costume is being painted much nicer this time. Yeah, and the paint apps also I think is slightly better as compared to the old one. I just love the brighter blue. Maybe it's the same blue, I'm not sure, but the red just seems to be brighter. So if you already have this old one and the linings on the suit doesn't really bother you that much, I don't think you need to get this Renewal version. But if you doesn't have this Peter B. Parker, I absolutely think you should get this Renewal version, because it just looks pretty good. So once again, I do hope that you enjoy my review and comparisons for this Mafex Peter B. Parker, and I hope that it actually helps you to know what's the differences of the Renewal and the old version. And I will catch you guys again in my next video.